What's good, everybody? Saman here. Now, I know what the video title and the context of this, it is way past for one of the movies. By the time I'm recording this, it is the day technically before Fantastic Four is supposed to release. But like most movie theaters, obviously, you have a big movie coming out. You're going to showcase it the day before. Fresh take of the movie, right off rip. I got a lot of shit I want to say. So, check me out. Number one, the movie was fucking gas to me. Like, I know some people have alleged the movie isn't fantastic. It's just aight. But me personally, I feel like the movie captured every aspect of what the Fantastic Four should have been. I feel like they did it so swell. I think they did it so defined. And you ain't never gonna have a Superman, comparison, because to me, even though, don't get it twisted, I think Superman was a banger film and was a very tremendous start to a new universe, a new DCAU. But Superman, even with all its goods, and me thinking that yes, it is a good return to form. We need Hopium out here. We need hope. It's a busting film. There's a lot of good shit. Superman has some problems, right? That I want to talk about, obviously, right? But because Fantastic Four came out, I'm going to talk about Fantastic Four first. So that being said, Fantastic Four, to me, lived up to every instance of what you say a comic book film should be. It's comic book accurate. Every character, I feel like, was executed divinely. Perfect casting, perfect music. The music was so unbelievably marvelous. This shit was fantastic. This shit was built different. To me, this superhero movie went above and beyond the general criteria for what a superhero movie is. I feel like they executed almost everything you ever want. But the Fantastic Four are good, especially it taking place on a different planet, besides, different plane of existence from, the mainline adaptation 616. It was done very stupendously. So, in my opinion, I think it did way better than what I feel like some people are giving it credit for. Granted, some of those people have their own nitpicks or whatever. To me, I think the people that say, oh, they didn't use Fantastic Four to their greatest capabilities like in the comics, right? Like, oh, I want to see more of Reed doing stretch shit, or, oh, I want to see more of like the Thing doing some predominantly. And I was obviously a fan of Fantastic Four. It's an obvious. You already know what it is. A brother had to go ahead and show out and say, I do agree they maybe could have used some different parts of their overarching versatility and kit better. But to me, I feel like how they did it was very good for what it was. I don't think there was really a need to show all out of what they could do, especially within their, limited time. The story was very well baked to me. I think every aspect of the film was busting, was cool, was delivered right, and it was all around busting. It was gas. It was cool. You know what I'm saying? And again, because the fact it takes place in a different universe, different planet, and they utilize the core themes of that with how this world entirely embraces the Fantastic Four, and they showcase them really for living out the lifestyle. Them being heroes is not something that is, hammed on or seen in a bad light into a certain specific context, right? So that is why to me it's so good. It will always be good to me because of that. So that is really what I have to say on the character shit. But again, I think all the acting was cool, getting above and beyond with the music. I think every aspect of the characters was divinely done. I think everything that you could say about them was all around cool. There's nothing I could really say besides it was just perfect. It was fantastic. Dan Grimm's actor did profoundly good. I think Pascal will amaze a lot of people at how much he reckons a lot of Reed Richards and the intelligence, emotion, mannerisms, stellar writing. I think the show that played Susan was perfect. And Johnny showed out like ways I never thought. This man, Johnny, has always been cool. He's always been interesting to be seen. But the fact is that Johnny and how he moves has always been a character that you would expect to just be the, comic relief. And don't get it twisted, he is played in that way. But like in the comics, in any other version, he always has a lot more deeper, stellar character to him. He has a deep-seated case of heart that is always able to be unraveled, untangled, and utilized in such a defined slam dunk execution that it really pulls nothing but emotion and its flavor. I mean, this shit is just flavorfully gas, bro. I really felt like the Thing when we was talking to Big Herbie about how, in the food, wasn't, I guess perfect. Doesn't take away that it doesn't have that zip to it in the end. And they really landed with the zip. I mean, it's not ironic that Human Torch is gonna be fire, right? So yeah, niggas sweating as hell, bro. It's fucking hot as fuck in Columbus, bro. It is what it is. Like, simply put, again, I think the movie was cool. It was done to finally. Galactus. That's already a known thing, so that's not a spoiler. I won't say much more. Peak Menace. Titanius, my nigga. Devourer of Worlds. The voice acting was peak. The design, the impact cinematography, all that shit. That was gas. That's number one. All right, Ishla Ball, a.k.a. Quicksilver's wifey in the comics. I think the actress did a fine job repping Quicksilver. I think how to use Quicksilver was dope. The powers, the cinematography, all that shit was dummy defined in how to use her. My only nitpick, this is like my only like mixed like actual critiques, and I'll get to my kind of critiques, but again, I think there's a lot more pros, way more pros than cons. But how to use Silver Surfer, right, was pretty much just using like more of the speedster, wild proportions movement, and obviously showcasing that she is one crazy powerhouse. I mean, the Silver Surfer is a scout on cosmic crack, my nigga. She built different. I think they did define with her. I would say that how Silver Surfer and Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, was way better done in showcasing how he was cold in a lot of ways, but she was cold. I just feel like they didn't be as comic book accurate with the impression that Silver Surfer left. The fact that he's able to control radiation, use cosmic powers in very cold ways, and he has a lot of unique versatility. Because Silver Surfer, it isn't obvious, as a herald of Galactus, is very fucking powerful, and she showed that, right? But I just feel like only at the end did you really see craziness like that. But that's just me. I think, level of like what Galactus really did with his powers is another thing. But I feel like Galactus is always shown, unless it's a very big thing, it doesn't really show it like that. And yeah, that's really all my critiques. Again, every pro is I feel like the story is defined. Franklin is adorable. Every aspect of it is cold. My audience was cool. The movie was cool. It was just busting. And, here's my comparison to Superman. So the fully end, right, is I think Fantastic Four, right, gets a solid, dang near 10 out of 10. Those are just my little nitpicks. If we take away these little Scooby-Doo ass, trick, little level of like around the whole bar that the movie should be set about the case of like being above and beyond of standing for repping the first family. Fantastic Four, to me, has had a better grand scope legacy of making a stain in not only comic books, but as well as in live action movies. Because again, the Fantastic Four has a great legacy with the movies. And I haven't had this much nostalgic big pour of emotions and love kind of just more and more building up with these new reformed representation of characters in a minute. And like most generally superhero movies, it's been getting more and more fun to come out and see them. And I feel like they delivered on that shit. It was nothing but, again, flavorful busting. This is a gourmet meal, my nigga. I don't have no problems with it. You wanted to add nothing more to it. I feel like it was delivered fine. But again, it's just a level of like, besides these little like mini nitpicks and puny little Scooby-Doo like trick snack form of like trying to play to the best representation of the comics, like 100%. I think that it was done in a way to where you could say, banger, no exceptions. I would say that you could give it 10 out of 10 if you take away those little nitpicks. Because any other nitpick I heard, I feel like I just don't agree with. Like, I've seen like none but respect to him, Demigod, the YouTuber. But I think to talk about, obviously Susan Storm and Johnny Storm are like front row. That doesn't mean that the other characters aren't utilized good. I feel like they're utilized good. Could it be utilized better? Of course, but the conclusion was still good. So that's what matters more to me, right? Besides that, I think it's a good like 9.5, almost 9.9, like almost a 10 out of 10. It's good. It's very good. I think everybody would enjoy it. I feel like if you don't know nothing about Fantastic Four, you'll like it. And that's all I have to say about Fantastic Four, right? But Susan, I just want to say, I feel like was showcased in a very beautiful way at the end that I really feel like is going to make niggas respect the fact of the matter is that Sue is one of the most crazy uses of cosmic. And it's not only a small, it's very crazy when it comes down to different utilization here. but is definitely powerful in ways they never seen. So again, shout out to the Sue Storm actress. Shout out to Sue Storm, Bay. You know what I'm saying? Reed Richards is a lucky man. But yeah, simple as that. I feel like surprised that this man's no more has been on a whole fucking quest to get the Snow Bunny, without a doubt. I know niggas gonna get on me for using Snow Bunny, quote unquote, wrong. Doesn't matter, right? But again, joke aside, that's my opinion about Fantastic Four. Now about Superman, again, I think Superman was outstanding. I think Superman is a movie that's better than a lot of different things. I love every part of it at core. I think the actor for Superman is peak, and the cast is peak. Mr. Terrific is peak. Hawk Girl is beautiful. I think Guy Gardner is a motherfucking GOAT. Y'all love the bowl cut. Don't matter if he's ginger, blonde, he always gonna be peak. But to me, my thing is like, I think all of this shit that core Superman uses is fine. I just feel like there's some mixed like unfaithful adaptation that I'm a little bit off with. But again, I think in the core greater principle, it is utilized well. I think Superman's parents and all that shit is utilized better than in comparison Man of Steel, because Man of Steel I do think has a lot just of glaring problems that are very abhorrent in adaptation. I feel like Zack Snyder did not understand the core principles of Superman, and whatever his idea was to build upon them was terribly done. It's very unfaithful, and it's not reasonable for Superman. It's also just not executed good if you want to play quote-unquote adaptation game, which is exactly what I feel like some niggas going to be hypocritical to with Fantastic Four First Step, because that's the main criticism I see just like off rip, like day one, because technically the movie literally just came out today by most theaters in the world. So that's kind of how I feel. I think Lex Luthor was banging. D1 hater, D1 dick rider. I'm not gonna lie. The whole like reference in a way to different cartoon elements of like little minions for a person doing the most petty shit I do like, but I also do like that's kind of like a simulation to Zack Snyder fans shitting on Superman in the case of a film, and on just James Gunn's vision. I think James Gunn understands Superman in such a beautiful way. My cons tie what I feel like a little bit of the pacing. I do like a lot of the super duper shit, and it's a very wholesome movie. It's a solemn movie, but I feel like it's just how they produced it. And then I just feel like they could have shown more of like Clark and Lois doing more shit, and I don't know, just like better execution on that shit. And as well, I guess it would be needed to be bigger explained when Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow comes out. But it's a little bit again on the de-adaptation and kind of degrade from a lot of the unique heartfelt sting that a lot of the core, origins and build-up of not only Kryptonian legacy that Superman and Kara have to live up to, but I feel like in a way there's a level of unique substance matter still holding up the same principle and profound, usage for, again, Superman and Kara and how they do shit. Cal, Clark, doesn't matter. They both at the same time have a great deal of legacy that's still going to be most likely shined like no other in the greater future. And I feel like if that is finally done, then my critique here, which again, like my example with Fantastic Four First Steps, which again, peak. These little cases like Scooby-Doo trick, like snack little mini problems that I have isn't really that big of a deal. And I know that analogy might sound weird with no context, but again, it's just the type of shit that's like, this is something that kind of might pull you back and think, that's kind of wild, but it's not bad in overall conclusion. So I give Superman reasonable, like 8.5 out of 10. It's very good. It's very bussin'. I don't have much more to say about it. As you can tell, well, for the mall, about to go out. But yeah, that's what I have to say, man. I think it was busting 2 films that you can see from this month that you would have nothing but heartfelt joy with, would reignite, heart like never seen before. And yeah, that's really all I have to say. I hope you guys enjoy this vid, enjoy those movies, pick them. And yeah, who needs food when you got one ride with me?